Hello there, I am oddly amusing, but you can just call me Alexa, and welcome to episode 4 of the Oddly Amusing Show. So, today we're actually going to mix it up a little bit. Today will be only about movies. So we're gonna start off with just some movies and TV shows. Sorry, a little bit about some TV shows. um, and so we're gonna start off with some like recent news in the world of movie and TV, and then we'll be moving into reviews of Toy Story 4, and also the Netflix original movie Rim of the World. Then we will quickly talk about upcoming movies this weekend, which are Annabelle Comes Home yesterday, and one other just I'm really excited for. And then we'll finish it off, and I'll go through this upcoming week, including today, and talk about what movies came out this day in history. We got some pretty great ones. I've seen most of them, which surprised me. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. I was just looking up stuff and found that, and I don't know, it's really cool to me. But anyways, let's move on to movie and TV news. Eventually I'll come up with a good name for this segment. Alright, so the first news is in the world of TV. And now don't cry. I know this is emotional, but The Office will be leaving Netflix at the end of 2020. I know. I don't know what I'm gonna fall asleep to once that happens, but I guess I'll find something. Maybe Parks and Rec. Though that'll probably be gone too. I don't know. The whole world is changing. But yeah, so I guess what I'm gonna have to do before the end of 2020 is simply watch the show so many times that I memorize every single line of it, so that then whenever I fall asleep, I can just say it to myself. Only reasonable recourse. Alright, so yeah, moving on from that, there have been some rumors that the Wachowskis will be returning for Matrix 4, and it'll star Michael B. Jordan. That just sounds spectacular. There's not too much more information on that right now, but that's just something to keep your eye out for. Um, Another news about Netflix. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse is coming out on there today. I won't often talk about stuff that's leaving and getting on Netflix, only the big things. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is such a good movie. I really just recommend it to anyone of any age. If you like superhero movies or not, just watch it. It's really just a well-crafted film. I'm really excited to rewatch it, and yeah, expect me to talk about that more next week after I've rewatched it. Moving on to our final Netflix related news. Stranger Things Season 3 trailer has come out, and it looks pretty dope. I feel like they gave away a little bit too much, but I can't be sure because I haven't watched it yet, so maybe all the stuff they showed is like super obvious from the first 5 minutes. Who knows? But I'm really excited for it still. That comes out July 4th, so that is next week. So that's pretty exciting. Ignore your plans to go out and do fireworks and stuff and just sit at home and binge Stranger Things Season 3. That's what I'll probably be doing. But, anyways, besides that, let's move on to an Amazon Prime show. So, I don't know how much people have heard of this, but there is this book series called Wheel of Time. It's been coming out forever now. The author actually died before they finished the books, but he had like a detailed description of what would happen from there, and he like knew he was gonna die before he finished, so he mentored someone else to finish writing them for him. I haven't read them, but I've heard phenomenal things. They're like on top of my list of things to read, but I still haven't finished 1984 by George Orwell, so we'll see if I ever get there. They have recently announced, though, that it'll star Rosamund Pike, and that is very exciting. She'll be playing, it's like a queen character, so she's very regal, and I think Rosamund Pike definitely has that regal vibe to her. All right. Next up, we have there's going to be a Kingsman prequel coming out, and it has its official title. It'll be called The Kingsmen with a space between it, and it'll be released in February 2020. So that's pretty exciting. I really enjoyed the first two Kingsman movies. I'm of course sad that Taron Egerton won't be in it because if you watch my Rocketman review, I love Taron Egerton. He is phenomenal, but I'm sure it'll still be a phenomenal film. And finally, in the world of news, the thing I'm probably most excited for, Disney Pixar has announced their upcoming film for next year, It'll be coming out June 19th, 2020, and it is entitled Soul. In their post about it, they said, 1 year from today, Pixar Animation Studios will take you on a journey from the streets of New York to the cosmic realms to discover the answers to life's most important questions. That sounds so intense. Like, I know I am not mentally ready to do that. Like, I'm just not. It is going to wreck me. I'm going to cry. I can feel it now. It's going to make me question everything in my whole life. But, I'm so ready for it. 1 year. All right. Next up, let's talk about some reviews. So I'm going to start off with the more positive one, Toy Story 4. I absolutely loved this movie. Despite the child behind me kicking my chair and randomly making noises, and the other children in the theater also making noises and talking through every single emotional scene, yeah, I would have cried, but I literally didn't. I'm like the easiest crier in a movie, but those kids annoyed me so much by their continual talking during any scene that was even slightly emotional. Just, I couldn't cry. It was bad. But the movie itself was phenomenal, and I'm really excited to rewatch it without any children around. Because while this is John Lasseter's, well, he, or blah, John Lasseter is the writer. This is Josh Cooley's first feature film ever. He absolutely nails it. He's only written and directed a couple Disney shorts before now, and he just did an absolutely amazing job. He also voiced a few small things like in Up and Inside Out and Ratatouille. But yeah, he did amazing. John Lasseter, who was the director, now we're going to talk about him, of the first two Toy Stories, and he wrote all four of them, had said that they wouldn't make a fourth one unless they felt it was as good or better than the first three, and they definitely achieved that. I honestly think this might be my favorite Toy Story film. Now, despite those kids ruining it for me. um, so it's been a while since I've seen the first three, but I'm pretty sure this one's my favorite. It was honestly just a spectacular film. It was so emotional. For if you want a numbers of how good this film was, it made 120 million this weekend, and second place was Child's Play with only 14 million. Now that is wow. Like I knew it was gonna crush it, but damn. Um, the film itself was super emotional. I loved the new characters they brought in. Forky was just the best, and like the message that Forky has, if you want to get like super psychological into it, about like viewing yourself as trash and then realizing, oh look, I have more of a purpose. It was just super cute. Forky was just an absolutely wonderful, lovable, happy character. It was just this fun, pure little thing that really just embodied all that Toy Story is. It showed a great emotional journey for Woody, especially with the character Gabby Gabby. Her character is sort of the villain, but I don't view her as the villain. Um, but her voice box is broken, and therefore she's never had a kid. She was broken from the very start, and so therefore no one wanted her. So her entire goal is to fix her voice box, and she feels that once she does that, she'll have a child. And it's just, oh, they have some really heartbreaking scenes. I'm getting a little sad thinking about it, not even gonna lie. They had some really emotional scenes with her, and it was just so well handled. And then the end, oh, there is no better way to end off Woody's story than what they did right here. It was just beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Just amazing job, everyone who worked on this film. It was beautiful. But then also, we have to take a moment to discuss the Benson dummies. Those things were terrifying. I would have been horrified as a child. They literally had some jump scares with them. They were like coming at them through like between shelves, and like it was straight out of a horror movie. I swear to you. It was terrifying. But a normal kid would have been completely fine. Me as a child would have been terrified. I would have, like, those guys would have, I would have, like, thrown out all my dolls. No, I wouldn't have because of Gabby Gabby. But still, it was, oh, they were really scary, the Benson dummies. but they did it well. Like it wouldn't have actually scared any children because they always it was only a quick thing and then immediately there'd be some sort of like comedic or other thing to distract a child from the fear of that previous moment. You know what I mean? So it was just everything about the movie was handled extremely well. The characters, the plot, the everything. It was just absolutely wonderful. Would recommend go seeing it again, no matter what age you are or what you're into. It's just a good movie. Now, let's go into a slightly less good movie. This past weekend, I watched Netflix original Rim of the World. My I'd read somewhere online that someone said it was like a Spielberg movie, and that was extraordinarily generous. The only similarities I really saw between this movie and a Spielberg were the fact that there were kids and an alien. So I don't want to say too much mean things because it is a movie. A lot of hard work went into it. There was obviously a lot of effort, time, energy, love into this movie. But I just wish there was a bit more. The kids. So you have the lead white kid who's scared of everything. A rich African American kid trying to break the stereotypes, but all he does is talk about sex. And then you have a Hispanic kid who had broken out of juvie. And then you have an Asian girl who is extremely wise and seems to know everything. If that doesn't sound familiar to you from some typical stereotypes, I don't know which stereotypes you've been looking at. The kids constantly talked about sex related things, which I thought was just really inappropriate. They're like 11 and 12, and while I know that that does happen, it's not that common, I don't think. Maybe, I mean, I was just a kid pretty recently. I'm not that old yet, but it was just, and the plot of the whole thing was overarchingly pretty standard. I didn't really feel like it felt too much new to the table. I didn't feel like it brought too much new to the table. It was, I mean, it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen for sure. It had some fun moments. King Bach as the camp counselor, he had some really good jokes there at the beginning. Um, but overarchingly, it it was just too standard. Everything felt so like to the book and just I'd seen it all already. You know, it was still it's like if you'd never seen a movie, maybe you'd really enjoy it, but I feel like everything in there I've already seen in something else and done a little bit better. Um, I still, of course, I don't like being too mean to movies because I know how much time and effort and energy goes into them. But it's definitely it was just so to the books, it's just so, it really brought nothing new to the table. And the kids did not feel like children. It definitely felt like middle-aged people wrote it, which, is never great whenever you have a bunch of kids as your star. But the kids did a good job acting. They really didn't, like, they did good. Directing wasn't horrible. The shots, some of them had some really nice shots in it. Editing was a little too jarring, and there were some shots that were like made it a little hard to see. Like they were trying too hard to make the action impactful. But yeah, overall, not the worst movie I've ever seen, but definitely could have been a million times better. Alright, so that's all I'm really going to say on that because I don't like being too mean to movies. So let's move on to upcoming movies. So, Annabelle Comes Home. Annabelle creation terrified me. So this movie I'm sure will do the same. The director, Gary Doberman, has not directed another movie before. This is his debut. But he did write It, Chapter 1, which I really love that movie, and he also wrote the sequel that will be coming out later. He also wrote the first two Annabelles, which I haven't seen the original Annabelle, but Annabelle creation terrified me, so ugh. But he also did write The Nun, so we'll see. I've heard really good things that Annabelle Comes Home so far, and I'm very excited to see his directorial style and just see what he brings to the table because he is a very talented writer, obviously with It and Annabelle creation, so it's just gonna be interesting how he brings those writing skills onto into his directing. Um, and so yeah, I'm pretty excited for Annabelle Comes Home. Another movie coming out this weekend is Yesterday. This is the movie about the Beatles, starring Hamish Patel. His character, there's like a big electric wave throughout the world where all the electricity goes out for a moment, like a worldwide blackout, and he is the only one who remembers the Beatles afterwards. And so he becomes super famous, singing all the Beatles songs, like Yesterday. Wow, what a cool title! No, I'm really excited about this movie. It looks really good. I will most likely be watching it this upcoming weekend. It also has co-star Lily James, so that is pretty exciting. I really like her. She, if you don't know who she is, she played Cinderella in the new remake. She also was in Baby Driver, the lead girl in that. She's been in a lot of other movies, so there's only two I can think of off the top of my head, though. But she's really talented. But yeah, it's gonna be a really fun movie, I think. Now, there's one other movie coming out this weekend that I feel it is important for us to mention. Avengers Endgame. So, this is a little known movie. You may or may not have heard of it. It is about some superheroes who all gang up to save the world. No, but yeah, Avengers Endgame is getting re-released this weekend. It will include an intro with Anthony Russo, one of the two directors. It was Anthony and Joe Russo, the brothers. They also did Winter Soldier and a few other Marvel movies. They also have done many other movies. They're very talented people. It'll also feature an unfinished deleted scene, and it'll include a sneak peek to Far From Home, which literally comes out, I think, it comes out like next weekend. It comes out early July. Yeah, it comes out next weekend, so I don't know why we need that exactly, but I get it. They want to beat Avatar in the worldwide box office sales. Who doesn't want to be the number one, you know? So I totally get it why they're doing it to make the more money. Like, heck, honestly, like I know they have enough money, honest to goodness, from that movie coming out the first time, but definitely I see the point. Like, they're in the business of making money. They make good movies though, in order to make that money. Overarchingly, I think Endgame was a very good movie, and it is deserving of all the money that it has made due to the amount of effort, energy that has gone into it to making it such a good film. That I'm not that upset. I'm really not that upset. But I mean, I might even go watch it. I don't know. I probably will. I've already seen it twice in theaters. It's opening night. I drove 40 minutes to go see it with my boyfriend, and then I saw it again like the next week. So yeah, I'm sure I'll go and watch it. Ugh, why you gotta do me like this, Kevin? Kevin Feige. Yeah, I'll go watch it. Alright. This is gonna be actually a really short episode today. I thought this one was gonna be longer than my other ones, but you know what? I'll take it. Let's keep it short, sweet, to the point. Alright, so we are going to go into today's final segment, which is movie birthdays. This is something I saw a post about like Karate Kid coming out a year ago today, a few days ago, and I started thinking like, there's been so many big movies that have come out. I'm sure like almost every day has to have a movie that was released on it in history. And this week, almost every day did have a movie that was released on it. So let's go through some movie birthdays. So today, we have a really old movie from 1925 by Charlie Chapman, The Gold Rush. If you've never seen a Charlie Chapman film, they are a lot of fun. I would recommend, and maybe go watch The Gold Rush. It has its anniversary. Tomorrow, we have another older movie from 1973 called Live and Let Die. This is the 8th James Bond film, and it was the very first one to star Roger Moore. So, pretty iconic film right there. For this June 28th, we have, this is one of my personal favorites from the list, though there's a lot of good movies that came out. The Nutty Professor by Eddie Murphy. It was released in 1996, so that's pretty exciting. And then June 29th, which is this upcoming Saturday, it is the anniversary of Steven Spielberg's AI, Artificial Intelligence, that came out in 2001. I have not seen this movie. It is on Netflix, I recently discovered, so it is very high on my watch list. So I will definitely be trying to watch it soon. And when I do, I'll talk about it on here. Don't worry. Um, then on June 30th, we got, let's talk about some more Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man 2 came out in 2004, the Tobey Maguire one, by Sam Raimi. So that's some exciting stuff. God, I love those original Spider-Mans. At least it's Spider-Man 1 and 2, honestly, really fun movies. 3 is great too. So this Monday, which is July 1st somehow, how is it already July? I don't know, but in history on this day, 2009, Ice Age, Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs, which I have not seen because I'm a fake Ice Age fan. I have not seen that or Continental Drift. I've seen all the other ones, but I just couldn't do it anymore. Unlike Toy Story, they really shouldn't have continued. But I mean, they're still fun times. Eventually, I'm sure I'll get around to watching them anyways. They're cute movies. I'll show them to my kids one day or something. They're fun, good messages. Yeah, they're a good time. Ice Age is great. So this Tuesday, July 2nd, there were no movie releases. There was one premiere of Airplane, the Airplane exclamation point, which is an amazing movie. If you have not seen it, really watch it. Uh, Surely you can't be serious. I am, and don't call me Shirley. So many good quotes that you hear all the time and like other things come from that. One of my favorites is this one guy continually drinks, spills water on himself, and they refer to it as a drinking problem. And I have made that joke so many times in my life. I think my whole family quotes this movie all the time. So definitely, while it wasn't released, since it was premiered, I thought I'd give it a little shout out because it's an amazing movie. Um, all right, but to make up for no releases on July 2nd, we have two for July 3rd. So we have Double Indemnity, a film noir directed by Billy Wilder that came out in 1944. I really don't know much about this film, but it's a cool name, and I like noir style films, so I might give it a good look because sounds interesting. And then also, this really small indie film that you may or may not have heard of called Back to the Future came out in 1985, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Michael J. Fox. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but that also came out on July 3rd. So that's pretty cool. So it'll be having what year is it? It's 2019. Let's do some math. 85 to 2019. 15 plus 19. That'd be 34 years ago. So it'll have its 34th anniversary. Wow, that's a really long time. The movie always feels newer to me than that because it's just so well made. But yeah, that is this upcoming week's movies. Normally I'll just go from Thursday to Wednesday, but since this is the very first one, I also included today's, and also there's a Charlie Chapman, so how could I not include him? He's just iconic. Thank you so much for listening. This is definitely a lot shorter than my normal ones. Not sure why. Maybe I talked too fast. Sorry if I did. I'll try and slow it down in the future because I covered a lot of stuff. But yeah, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.